believe the truth. And the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done. The bottom line is, it wasn't for you. It wasn't for you. It wasn't either one of you guys. It just wasn't for you. The fact of the matter is, it's not for most people. It's not normal. There's an 80% attrition rate of buds. Most people quit. Good people. I was down there the other day and I was talking to one of my buddies that runs he's a civilian, but he's one of the civilians that works there. But we were talking about, about buds. And I forget what even led into it, but he pointed at when you quit buds, you put your helmet by the bell. And so as more and more people quit, more and more helmets are lined up, and there'll be hundreds of helmets lined up. And he's like, you see those helmets right there? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, every single one of those kids was a stud. And when I went through, it wasn't quite like that, because not everyone that was showing up at buds in the 90s was a stud. They weren't, because we didn't know what was happening. We didn't know how to do a pull-up workout. We couldn't look online and see a program on how to get better at rope climbs. We didn't know that you had to swim with fins. I didn't know anything when I showed up to buds. So these kids now, they know everything. And so what do? They prepare, all of them, at a minimum.
It's probably easy to say you should never give up on yourself. However, many of us give up on ourselves before we do anyone else. So how do we break that cycle that is so easy to fall into? Today we get our motivation from a former Navy SEAL and platoon leader with a highly decorated military career who now has a business explaining leadership skills to business people and civilians alike. His name is Jocko Willink, and if there's one thing he can make us see, it's that the excuses we make to ourselves are nothing but lies. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough talent. I don't have any support. Unfortunately, we as humans are great at convincing ourselves of things. As long as we continually tell ourselves something, we'll eventually believe it. So each time the excuses come, start telling yourself, I'm a leader, I'm successful, I am talented, I have skills, and I will be successful. Just a little tip on how to never give up on yourself.
Stop making excuses. This is actually pretty simple. And I said it the other day, and you have to realize, you have to know, you have to accept that all your excuses are lies. They are lies, all of them. Think about the things that you tell yourself, the lies used to rationalize taking the easy road. Taking the easy road and leaving discipline behind. Think about them. You don't have time. That's a lie. You don't have support. That's a lie. You don't have the equipment or the gear. Lies. You don't know the best way. Who cares? That's a lie. Or you're too old or you're too young. Of course you're too old or too young. Lie. And there's you're too busy. Sure you are. That's a lie. And you're too tired or you're too sore or you're just plain not feeling it. Lies, lies, lies. And the list goes on and on and on.
That are participating in the Readers Are Leaders Challenge. I want to tell you that is a great challenge. And it's a very true statement. Readers are leaders. I was in the military and I was a leader in the military. And when I got out of the military, I started working with business leaders. And the successful leaders in the military and the successful leaders in business, they read. Why does reading make you a better leader? Well, when you read a lot, it makes you a better writer and it makes you a better speaker. And when you're a better writer and a better speaker, that makes you a better communicator. And the better you can communicate, the better you can lead. Even your borough president, Jim Otto, he's your leader. He's the leader of Staten Island. And he's a real big time reader. He actually read the first book I wrote and reached out to me to help give a hand with this Readers Are Leaders Challenge. I'm happy to do so, and I want you to go out there, be a reader, be a leader, read, lead, and win.
When I started taking the lessons that I had learned growing up in the SEAL teams and applying them and seeing how they worked and learning, either solidifying them or sometimes making small adjustments to them. So all the principles that I ended up talking about and I ended up writing about and that I ended up employing when I was in tasking to Bruiser, all those had kind of been solidified somewhat when I was in my first combat deployment as a platoon commander in Baghdad. So the things that I talk about all the time, cover and move, you absolutely have to cover and move. Keeping things simple. prioritize and execute, decentralized command. I hadn't quite turned those into the solid principles that they eventually became when I started teaching them to the young SEALs, but that's where I learned them. And so those are the lessons. Those lessons were really clear, and I learned them, I learned them from the Vietnam SEALs that raised me in the SEAL teams. Those guys that taught me the initial things. I mean, I've had a guy on my podcast named Roger Hayden. He's the guy that taught me cover and move. And there was other guys that were saying it, but he kind of explained, hey, here's what's going on, because he had been to Vietnam, multiple deployments, and he had been in a lot of firefights, and he explained to me, this is what's gonna happen.
Thanks for watching the channel. If you liked this video, click on the like button below and please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest updates. Until next time,